Steve-O.
What's the word?
What's good, Brody? Hey, we got the first day of playoff basketball, NBA playoff basketball in the books. You know, this is my favorite time of the year, baby. We're going to recap today's events and discuss previews for tomorrow's game right after the intro.
Thank you for tuning in to the number one place for your basketball fix, NBA Central, hosted by the Cognac Boys.
All right, what's the word, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central. It's your boy Big Bro. We got Steve-O in the building. Day one of round one is in the books after a pretty exciting play-in tournament. The NBA is off and running toward the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Steve-O, we're just going to recap the games in order of how they were played, especially considering that Joel Embiid came back and finished his game versus the Knicks. We'll start with the Magic versus the Cavaliers. Game one of today, Cavaliers taking the win, 97-83. How you feeling about that game today?
It kind of went how I expected. Like, for the most part, the Cavs carried the game. For the most part, they was in control. Of the most part, they was feeding through their bigs, feeding through everybody else, and it just like they couldn't. The Orlando Magic just couldn't get the right rhythm going on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, of course, you got Paolo finishing with 24, 5, or 7 and 5, but he did struggle a little bit finishing with, I believe he was 9 for 17 from the field. So that was it. But you really didn't get what you needed out the rest of the starting five. Isaac finished with 10. Franz Wagner finished with 18, which was solid, but I think you need at least a 22 to 23 point game from him. You got a 0 from Harris, so nothing from that. 0 for 6. And then Suggs was 13, 4 for 4, but he struggled to shoot as well, 4 from 16. And the bench was quiet as well. Only impact off the bench was Mo Wagner finishing with 10. And that's really what it was. But the Cavs pretty much held it down. Donovan Mitchell finishing with 30 points. And then, just the Cavaliers starters just did more to get the win compared to the starters of the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, and from what I can see, because I was out at the Rum Festival, so I was paying attention to these games and the baseball games as well. The Cubs had a doubleheader, but neither team really shot that well. Nobody scored 100 points, but you're gonna need more than 8 for 37 from three. From the Orlando Magic, that's not going to cut it. And Donovan Mitchell was better than Donovan Mitchell. He was actually efficient today, Steve-O. 11 for 21 from the field. When you normally see him go 11 for 30 type, he did his thing. But the big men for Cleveland is what steadied the pace for the Cleveland Cavaliers. You had 16 and 18 from Jared Allen and 16 and 11 from Evan Mobley. You can't really get any better than that. 32 and 29 from your two starting bigs. That set the tone, and that's really what did Orlando in, considering that Wendell Carter Jr. came off the bench and gave you pretty much nothing. And Jonathan Isaac also didn't really give you much either, with just 10 points and 5 rebounds. All right, so moving forward, we got the what was the second game? The Philadelphia 76ers and the New York Knicks. Was that the next one? Oh, no, it was the Phoenix and
It's the
Minnesota
Phoenix and
game.
Minnesota game, yeah.
Yeah, the Phoenix and Minnesota game. Minnesota basically took off in the third quarter and dominated from there on. Your boy Anthony Edwards just looks unstoppable, and he has that dog in him that people kind of want to see or wanted to see, because at this point it's a foregone conclusion from a young LeBron James, right? They wanted to see that takeover mentality, that I'm going to take your heart out and stomp on it mentality. And frankly, Anthony Edwards has that. And 33 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists for a 120-95 win over the Phoenix Suns. I don't expect Phoenix to go away quietly, but this game from Minnesota was impressive.
Yeah, like I think one of the things we talked about with the earlier video with C-Dub, like he was like, "Who go stop all them people?" I'm like, they're the number one team when it comes to defense for a reason, and I think today's game kind of solidified that. They gave Those guys are run for their money, especially in their third quarter, especially in that fourth quarter. They just completely locked down on them, and they just show how true of this team is no fluke. They've been showing that they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the West and in the league, and for sure one of the best teams when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. So that's what it came towards to me. I think the defense played more than the bigger part, more than the scoring, but in classic and classic his fashion, he just got into that zone where you couldn't stop him. It was even a little clip of Mike Conley sitting here like, yeah, he getting there, like he getting in that mode, and he was. Even though one of those moves, I was like, that's a hell of a travel. When we
Yeah, that
start
step through.
calling that was a crazy ass step through. But besides that, your star did what he needed to do, and your surrounding roles did what they needed to do. But most importantly, you locked down, you played defense, and you did what you had to do. And I'm with you. I think they're not the Phoenix is not gonna go away quietly. They're gonna swing back and do, but they're gonna come subdue. And I feel like it's gonna go the way it's been going, and they're gonna lose this series. But
Oh yeah, oh
hey,
yeah.
it's gonna be exciting to see, especially that man was talking crazy to the bitch and Nick KD on bro.
Yeah, you already know KD got something in the tank. He ready for it. You know who I am, Kevin
Mm-hmm.
Durant. That's an epic line from him from the past. And Anthony Edwards aside, it was really him, and then everybody else played their roles. But I'm more excited to see what we're gonna get from Nas Reed, not just in this series, but throughout the playoffs, because I do expect them to win. I don't expect Nikhil Alexander Walker to go off the way he did today. 18 points, 7 for 12, 12 from the field, and just being an overall irritant off the bench. But Nas Reed had a lot of starting experience this season because of Karl Anthony Towns getting injured, and he put up big numbers. So they're going to lean on him as that first man off the bench throughout the playoffs. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table.
Bro.
All right, so the third game of the day was the New York Knicks versus the Philadelphia 76ers. And Joel Embiid had a little bit of a scare late in the second quarter, I believe it was, when he threw the ball off the backboard and dunked it, but came down awkwardly on his leg and had to leave for a little bit. But he did come back and finish the game, but he was ineffective basically from that point forward. 8 for 22 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3, 29 points, 6 assists, and 8 rebounds. Now, if it wasn't for his free throws, which were 11 for 12, he would have had a terrible, terrible game. Tyrese Maxey, though, was very effective today. 14 for 26, 33 points, but only 4 assists, though, Steve-O. They're going to have to figure something out, Philly, if they want to win this game. You expect more from, this series, you expect more from the bench as well. Buddy Hield didn't bring in anything. Nicholas Batum, who helped them win their play-in tournament game, didn't bring much. But you did get it was a hard-fought game for Jalen Brunson, 8 for 26. But Josh Hart was the star of the show for the Knicks. Timely rebounds, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 22 points, and was just basically hitting momentum shot after momentum shot. Every time Philly looked like they were going to get back into it, he hit a big three, and so did Miles McBride, who went 5 for 7 from 3. How did you feel about that game?
Yeah, it was definitely a big scare with going down. I thought it was over with the way he was looking on the floor, eyes kind of welling up with tears. I was like, oh shit, I think it's over with. But he battled back, which I kind of feel like at this point, and Kendrick Perkins kind of alluded to it in the halftime break, that at this point he's been hobbled and bothered by that same knee for the past few months, and it's not going to get no better. So. And it's not going to get more better the way he plays and the more he plays. And he's not going to be himself on that leg. So to me, the smart thing to do is to send him down, because he's going to hurt the team more than he helps them. So you're going to have this, especially now, you're going to have your Nicholas Batums to play lights out. You're going to have Buddy Hield can no longer, for the rest of this series, he can't have a night like he had tonight. He has to shoot the ball off the cover. He has to play some solid defense, because if you're going to let it be a boxing match down the stretch, I feel like Philly, especially with the coach they have, they're going to win those tough little battles every single time.
Oh yeah, and how about not trying to throw a oop to yourself off the backboard when you're coming back from an injury? I get it. You
He's like,
can't
I'm feeling good.
listen. You can't fight your nature. You telling yourself that you can do things, and you know that you're capable of doing things, even while you're injured. But you're already not 100% Joel Embiid, and you don't want to put yourself in position to hurt yourself, which you did today. And honestly, even if he makes it through this series, and let's say they win, it's only going to get harder and harder for him to continue to compete at a high level. So I agree with you. Maybe it's time for him to chill out, even if it's just for the next few games, and hopefully his teammates can pick him up and carry them throughout the rest of this series. But it's not looking good for him, man, because it's laborious, and you would like to see those 30 shots that he took today, or about 22, 25 shots that he took today, redistributed amongst the other teams. All right, I mean his other teammates, because maybe Buddy Hill could have shot 10 shots today instead of just
10
two
shots, yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
just two, and it would have been a different experience. All right, so the last game of the day was a doozy. The final score, it doesn't indicate how competitive this game really was. The Denver Nuggets and the Lakers, they match up pretty well. Now, I do have the Denver Nuggets winning this series. However, the Lakers are not going to make it easy. And let's just be frank, the NBA is not going to make it easy. They're going to call every single foul that they can for the
Yeah.
Lakers to keep games close. But this is a good one. Anthony Davis stepped up and he came out there and played pretty much toe to toe. Went toe to toe with Joker, and the others came out. LeBron did his thing; he was efficient as well. But they didn't get much from Austin Reeves. D'Angelo Russell was 1 for 9 from three as well,
Struggle.
and the Lakers were
6 for
only
20. You gotta
yes.
add that.
Yes, they were 8 for 29 from three as well. That's not gonna cut it. They did take care of the ball, set like toward the end of the game where they had like 4 or 5 turnovers in the fourth quarter. But hey,
Mhm.
you can't play like that against the defending champions. Nikola Jokic started off slow, but he ended up with 32 and 12 and 7, and that's pretty much all you need. The starters, every starter had double figures. The bench came in and they were okay, but it was really just about the starters. And Kentavious Caldwell Pope, he played the Josh Hart role today for the Nuggets. He just kept hitting timely shots, especially in that third quarter.
Yeah, like when it comes to this game, the game was won due to a couple people. I would say, of course, the obvious is the Jokers, the Michael Porters, but I think it was one with, like you said, KCP, Jamal Murray, and and Gordon. They did just a little bit more versus a Reeves and a D'Angelo Russell. And I think they lost the game in the third quarter. I believe the Lakers scored 18 points in that third quarter, and the Denver Nuggets did it. I believe it was 34. If I'm not mistaken, I think they scored 34 in the quarter, and that's kind of when you start to see them pulling away, and then they just never recovered after that. And for the most part, like you said earlier, what kept the Lakers competitive and in this game was fouls. Because if you want to look at the foul discrepancy, is crazy. I think the Lakers ended with 19 total free throws, and I believe Denver only had 6. So it's
Yes,
crazy to even see how the game kind of ended so lopsided, even though they kind of pulled away at the end. But it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough series. But at the end of the day, it just shows like today, Denver just has a little bit more, whether it's on the starters or the bench.
and you're absolutely right. It was the second half of that third quarter because it was a tie game, I think, at like 74 apiece
Hmm.
before Denver ended up going up double digits and then not relinquishing the lead to win by 11. Because every other quarter, the Lakers won the first quarter.
Yep.
Second quarter was 32-27, and the third quarter was 32-18. That's where
Yes.
Denver took over, and it's 25-25 in the fourth quarter. So we know that game two, and especially LeBron James, he's ready to steal game two and go back to LA with an opportunity to kind of put themselves in a position to maybe win this series. You know that
Yeah.
LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they have no inclination, they have no intention of rolling over against this team. Even though they got swept last season, each one of those games were competitive as well, with Denver just having more talent to get them over each one of those games, those 4 games that they beat the Lakers last season. So there you have it, guys. 4 games. We're going to get into the comments, but let us know how y'all felt about day one of the NBA playoffs and what y'all thinking about tomorrow. Before we get into tomorrow, let's get into some of these comments, Steve-O. We got Jacob
Yeah.
coming in talking about, so what up? It's Common and T Grizzly. Ha ha ha. What's happening, Brody? push you into moving
Go
traffic.
turn the light off, motherfucker.
Real talk. Run up the stairs real quick, ugly ass. Then you got Wu Tage said, "Let's talk some bull." Oh wait, never mind. We can't talk about the Bulls, but the Lakers thought they
Hell
had
no.
the Lakers thought they had the Nuggets, but they were wrong. And again, Wu Tage, this is very early. It's only game one. Nobody gets too high after game one. It's really once you go up 2-0 that you start to feel that maybe, hey, the numbers are in your favor. But 1-0 is not nothing to really be too happy about, man. Because if
Nope.
you lose that second game, the other team has the momentum. Can I get y'all autographs?
How you gonna talk shit and then talk about gang? You a motherfucker.
Paolo was going to have his hands full with Mobley, one of the best defensive bigs in the game. What you think about that, Steve-O?
He was giving him a little problem, and yeah, his length is gonna give him a little bit of issues, and that's what happened today. The closeout was bothering him, but I don't think he realized that Mobley was able to slide his feet like he did. But even though they play all the time during the season, so he should know. But like you said, that playoff defense is a different beast, and when they come up with a game plan, hey, it is what it is.
Hold on, my bad. I got the news on the TV. They had Chicago teenagers versus Chicago police officers game. I'm like, oh, I ain't did that type of stuff.
I saw that too. I watched the news too. I was see that too.
What up, King Buka World? What's the word?
Boom.
V Dog says, "What up, fellas? Phoenix may get bounced. Ant-Man is him." Yeah, I mean, I'm not pretty
He's
sure.
definitely him.
I'm not sure how many people might have picked Phoenix over Minnesota, but Minnesota's a tough out
Dub.
regardless.
That's the only one.
Yeah, C-Dub for you. Speaking of C-Dub, if AD show up next game like he did tonight, the Lakers will be in better position than last year. But it's still a series. They have to find a way to even have a chance.
I was happy to see him not cower away and play up to the competition because he definitely had a hell of a game tonight. It just Denver had a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Davis actually has had a pretty good season. He played more than
Almost
65
definitely.
games. And played he this is the first time that we haven't seen him be injured for a long stretch of time. 32 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 blocks for this man tonight was pretty good. And he was efficient, over 50% from the field. But what I did notice, and this is what's going to be the difference between him and Joker, is that he took 4 threes and missed all of them. You can't if you're gonna try to compete with Joker. Joker was 1 for 3, and he stretches the floor regardless, right? If you're gonna be the difference maker that you need to be, Speaking of Anthony Davis, he's gonna have to hit 1 or 2 threes per game in this series to keep the defense honest.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely can't go 0 for 4.
This dude talking about some grow some hair, Kev, and Steve will take your hat off. AJ Capone, you can't even make a quick little run. You know how some people say I'm gonna run to the store real quick? You can't even do that. Relax.
I don't know what you telling me to take my hat off. My shit longer than yours, boy.
JDH, what's the word, my dude? I'm just gonna think that JDH stands for John David Henry. Denver is going to repeat. This is Joker time. The Lakers can't beat Denver in a 7-game series. They're 9-0 versus them in their last 9 games. That says they'll be fortunate to win even one. Yeah, I mean it's clear that Denver's the better team. To be honest, I think the only team that can beat them really is Boston. But that's another conversation. All right. It said, oh, this is Bobby, by the way. You know Dub and LeBron hater. He don't talk like this.
Touche.
That's facts. That's facts. He dropped 30. Doesn't have to be about threes. No, I'm not saying that he didn't play well. I'm saying that those threes that he missed were important. Like he could have taken the ball to the basket a little bit more. Honestly, Anthony Davis, since his first year with the Lakers, has fallen completely off a cliff with defense with his threes. To be honest, he's in the last 3 seasons since that bubble championship.
Bubble championship.
He made a certain amount of threes in that bubble year, and since that time, in those next 3 years, he's got the same amount of makes in 3 seasons that he had in that 1 season. So all I'm saying is, if he's gonna take the threes, he needs to make them. Not that he wasn't good or that he didn't get 30 points. V Dog says Giannis may miss game 2 as well, according to Stephen A. Smith from NBA Countdown this morning. Giannis needs to miss the playoffs, to be honest. Like the injury that he got, like it's not even the same as what Embiid is going through. Embiid is probably going to go through this for the rest of
Yeah,
his
like
career.
you don't need to deal with you don't need to play around with Achilles injury,
No.
especially when your whole game is predicated on how athletic and strong you are. So
Hmm.
you need to stop playing and just sit this whole playoffs out and try again next year because your team ain't right anyway.
Oh yeah, I don't even think that even if he's healthy, that
Yeah,
Milwaukee would have stood a true chance at least against Boston. But you never know. You know, you can catch lightning in a bottle. Him and Dame could try to could mesh and start heating up in the playoffs and have a historic run, a la Kawhi Leonard in Toronto. But I do
yeah,
feel as though they got a little bit of time to continue to build this thing and shake this thing out around Dame
mhm,
Lillard and to get Doc Rivers' play style and playbook and roster type into place to get him a better chance to win. So Giannis might not need to be risking his health for this particular playoff run. All right, Steve-O, tomorrow we got 4 more games at 1 p.m. Eastern. The doggone team that took out the Chicago Bulls. We could be rooting for the Bulls tomorrow, but I'm kind of glad we ain't, Steve-O. I don't want to deal with the headache of watching this topsy-turvy up and down team mess around.
exactly.
The Bulls would have messed around and went out of one game 1 in Boston. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
we got Miami Stans Jimmy. I'm not sure if Rozier is gonna play, but no Jimmy Butler. Miami and Boston in game 1. Uh, I'm just gonna say flat out, Boston's gonna win this game.
Yeah, same stuff. I'm with you. I don't think. I mean, of course, I expect them to get one win in, but I don't think it's gonna be this one.
If it's gonna be anyone, it better be this one. They better try to catch Boston unawares and ride that momentum
All
of
right,
the
this is the one you want to get. Catch them off guard.
yeah.
They've been off the longest, so but I think Boston gonna get it.
Yeah, Boston should get that one. Let us know in the comments who y'all think gonna win tomorrow's games. Now we got Dallas and the Clippers. Now I think this is the series of round 1. Um, you could probably argue the Lakers and Denver clearly, just the star power with that one. But I think this Dallas and Clippers series is going to go 7 games. And I feel like even though it's a road game, Dallas might go in and shock the Clippers tomorrow and take game 1. How you feeling
I'm
about
thinking the
that one?
same way. I'm thinking they gonna come in and Luka gonna have a hell of a performance, and Kyrie gonna follow that. I think they both gonna have two big games. And it's gonna be something the Clippers weren't expecting. Game 1 that's gonna hit them in the mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a close one, and it all matters. What the only thing that truly matters is this fourth. This is going to come down to the fourth quarter, Steve-O. I don't
No, for real.
see, I don't see either one of these teams separating themselves to the tune of like what happened tonight with the Cleveland
In the third
Cavaliers,
quarter.
or yeah, it might be a third quarter stretch as well, but it's going to be a game of runs, bro. And honestly,
Mhm.
the way Dallas closed out the season, Kyrie seems like he's in the best place that he's been in mentally in a long time. And they're ready to go, man. And Luka himself, as quiet as it's kept, had an MVP season, averaging 35 points and
Mhm.
12 assists or whatever. Like, any other year that would be going away to MVP. But I think people just kind of overlook him because they don't like his style of play. How you feeling about
Yeah,
this game?
we just had the game, didn't
Oh yeah, both of us. Both of us said that they're gonna win.
we? Yeah, it's excuse y'all. It's late. It's late, so don't be judging us, bro.
And before we get into the comments, we got 2 more games. The Indiana Pacers and the Milwaukee Bucks, without Giannis, no Giannis. Indiana, though, they just don't play defense, and the Milwaukee Bucks have proven that they can win without Giannis, especially Dame out there. Bobby Portis tends to step up in Giannis's absence, and so on and so forth. Can Doc Rivers steal a win, even though they are at home against a highly potent Indiana team, Steve-O?
I think the animals gonna come in and bust them in their mouth. No diddy.
I don't know. I think Milwaukee holds court in game 1, bro. I'm gonna give
It's
Milwaukee.
possible.
I'm gonna give Milwaukee this game. I feel like Dame mentally he's coming in ready. This is his first time playing on a true championship contender, even with Giannis being down. his first Eastern Conference playoffs, even playing a playoff team against the Eastern Conference team. I think Dame is going to come in locked in and get a win versus Indiana.
It's possible. We
All
gonna
right.
see though.
Yes, sir. We'll be back tomorrow night. I should be home back from work by the time this Oklahoma City New Orleans game ends, Steve-O. So we should be able to knock out another one. The New Orleans Pelicans, I'm not sure what's going on with Zion. If he's going to play in game one or
Yeah,
not.
yeah. I don't think so. They as far some of the things I've said, they say it's most likely not.
All right, so no, we're gonna say no Giannis. So it's gonna be up to Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum to try to bring it again. What they did last night, actually, when they took out, surprisingly, defeated the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento. Hey, New Orleans took care of business, made it to the playoffs, and now they have the uninterviewed. I mean, like honestly, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're number one team, but they're not your normal number one team in the Western Conference. So New
Mhm.
Orleans do have a chance in this series, but I feel like Oklahoma City Thunder Stadium, it's gonna be a whiteout. Them fools is gonna be rocking. It's gonna be louder in there, about as loud as it was back when KD and Westbrook was making runs to the Western Conference Finals. I feel like the crowd alone, the energy in that building, is gonna be enough to propel SGA and company, Chet Holmgren and them, to a victory over New Orleans in Game 1. How you feeling?
I'm right there with you. I just think OKC is the better team right now, and I think they also have a statement to make. You know, everybody knows this. Everybody first time being in the playoffs, and this is the first time they've been in the playoff in years. So, like you said, the crowd is thirsty. They're gonna be geeked, and I think Shea gonna be ready to put a. He gonna be on a mission to put on a performance to let the league know that he here too. Especially after you seen the type of game people around the league like Anthony Edwards and Joker and AD had tonight. So he gonna try to live up to that performance as well, put on the show. And I expected you to. I'm expecting a 30 ball tomorrow. So I think that's what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, man. So we got we got Bobby saying he got Boston winning game 1. I got Boston going all the way to the finals. So yeah, they definitely gonna win that one. We got JD8 saying he thinks that the Heat have a shot at upsetting Boston if they can take 1 or 2 early. Man, it's gonna be a crazy matchup for Miami, and they have for the Boston, and they haven't forgotten last year losing to Miami either. If they don't want to have no problems, they better come out and blitz these boys, Steve.
Ballroom blitz. And my mom.
For real. And then Bobby said, no shot. He say Dallas can definitely beat the Clippers tomorrow. V Dog says Mavs and Clippers gonna be some ugly basketball. I think it's gonna be
It
beautiful,
sure
man.
gonna be some ugly ass basketball.
What you mean? What y'all mean by that?
You got Harden versus Doncic. That's why. They playing these mirrors.
I think Luka Doncic has a little bit deeper of a bag, especially when you add his post play into it. But
Oh yeah.
I get some of the Harden comparisons, but I think Luka,
They just go
um,
north and south. That's why.
yeah, and I think Luka he gets his players involved too at a rate that Harden used to. So it's gonna be fun to see. And actually, the Harden that I've seen on the Clippers is really, especially
He's
that
way more a point guard. Yeah.
yeah, especially that pick and roll with him and Zubac. He just seems like he's not trying to be that scorer that he still wanted to be in Philly. I think he's in complete facilitator mode, and that's a good brand of basketball for James Harden at least.
Mm-hmm.
JDA say, "Hey Bobby, the Heat playing great defense though. They always gonna play great defense, but when you playing against a team that shoot 53s, you just gotta hope they
And they
miss.
make them.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
You just gotta hope that they miss. They go cold. If it come down to the fourth quarter, give me Luka, Bobby say, and they got to keep pace offensively.
Not
Yes,
for real.
sir. Yes,
But
sir.
I think they got the dip. What they got with that, they got the defensive people on that side where they can kind of close up them gaps on that part.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jacob Pone say Steve O need his coffee.
I already got it.
And then Bobby right there with me. He's saying he believe Dame is gonna be ready to take out Indiana tomorrow, bro.
We shall see.
Yeah, we're gonna be here tomorrow. Hopefully you can jump in, Bobby. It's gonna be late though. Kev need this Scrabble game and Corona. I don't even play Scrabble, but I do play word games.
Same
Then
shit.
Rick Carlisle is a much better coach than Doc.
X and the nose, yes, I would say so.
Yeah, I kind of think Doc overrated, to be 100.
Kinda. Is. Ain't no kinda.
Yeah.
He's definitely overrated.
He didn't do much in Orlando. He was the first team to
He ain't do shit in Orlando.
remember. No, remember that T Map. The first time that round one went to 7 games, them Mods blew a 3-1 lead or something like that
Yep.
against Detroit, if I'm not
Detroit.
mistaken.
Yep.
And then
Detroit.
and then you got his stint with the Clippers. It was just basically Chris Paul getting injured every time they had a chance to win. And then of
Right.
course Boston.
Slapping boards and slapping chairs and shit, breaking his hand.
Of course, Boston went to 2 championships, won one, but it was only because of the big three. He lucked into that situation because if
And
he was
Rondo.
right, but if he was coaching just Rondo and Big Baby Davis and
Hell no.
that wouldn't have happened. And then of course his stint with Philly, just teams falling apart. So Coach Doc Rivers is from Chicago. We definitely show him love, but I just don't feel as though he's one of those elite coaches in the NBA at least, because of course you got to be elite to be a coach in the NBA. But and he's not that good of a coach, so I'll give you that. Rick Carlisle is a better coach than Doc Rivers, but that's not saying much.
At all.
Jacob, J V Dog saying shout to it. He's talking to Bobby Spo. Def has them ready as can be. Either way, Miami likes fighting uphill. I'm hoping for a good series. Oh, it's gonna be a good series
That'd be
regardless.
cool. Yeah.
It's gonna be a good series regardless, but it could be just like the Lakers in Denver were last year, a competitive games every game with Boston still coming out on top.
Yep.
Bobby say, "Give me OKC." I'm with you. And V Dog say, "I still don't trust the Pelicans head coach. I can't even tell you who the head coach
I
is.
don't. Willie Green.
Oh, he's still coaching over there?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't like. I'm still looking at him sideways for not putting in Bi in that fourth quarter, and especially after Zion got hurt. So I'm definitely been looking at him sideways. Plus, he can't decide if you want CJ to be the point guard or not, which he shouldn't be the point guard anyway. But yeah, V-Dog, I got them same concerns. Can't even lie to you.
Yeah, he's gonna have to make some smart decisions, and no matter whether Bi was coming back from injury or not, you're talking about the play-in tournament, and you got an opportunity to beat the Lakers at home, and you basically wasted Zion's output and injury that he had. So yeah, I'll give you guys that as well. There you have it, Steve-O. We got the first recap and preview in the books. We should be back tomorrow night after I get home from work after the 4 games tomorrow, and that'll be fun too, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the first day of NBA playoff basketball, especially Bulls fans. We ain't got to worry about the Bulls no more. Just things that you hear in the background. They talking about maybe paying DeMar DeRozan 4 years, $135 million, which would just be stupid. That'd be stupid.
I ain't watching the game if that happens.
Y'all already know, man. Hit us up at all the different social medias and everything that we have going on. We appreciate y'all for rocking with the Chi-Town Sports family. Chicago Bulls, Bears, Blackhawks, Sky, White Sox, Cubs. Man, I'm about to separate the Cubs and White Sox page, Steve-O.
It's time.
It's time. The White Sox are so terrible, bro. It's just the Cubs fans don't even deserve to have to listen to us talk about the White Sox. Bro, they almost got no hit today. And then they had the nerves to put up 5 runs in the 9th inning.
In the show.
We gonna holler at y'all later, man. We got one last comment. JDH says, thanks, we appreciate you, boy. So yeah, we gonna holler at y'all next time, man.
Peace.
Peace out.